Money in the Bank is on Saturday, and this is a career altering opportunity for many rising stars, or a way back to glory for a lot of established stars. Winning the briefcase isn't a guarantee for a championship. Well, at least not for the men. But with Triple H at the driver's seat, I have more faith with how things will get treated. You can tell already by the wrestlers that are in the match this time around. There's a case to be made for each person on the men and women's sides for them to win this match. There are for sure some favorites to win, but here are my predictions for the winners of the latter matches and for the rest of the card. This is one of the two title matches on the card as of today. I've been on board with Sami losing the belt when he was up against Chad because I believe that he should be running for a world title. But I wasn't too sure about Braun being that guy to beat him. It's hard to see Braun losing. Unless someone interferes, but at this point, I do feel that they may just push him as the next super rookie and have him win clean on Saturday. It's been a long time since we had a really big push for a rookie to win big matches. The last one I can think of is probably Kevin Owens beating John Cena, but even before that, you can go back all the way to Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle's rookie seasons. So if Braun is set to be the new Brock, why not have him win the Intercontinental Championship now? Both Brock and Kurt won the WWE Championships within their first year. I don't see Braun doing that just because of how the story is for that belt at the moment. But having Braun take up the Intercontinental Championship where Gunther kind of left it off. I know Sami is there now, but having that big obstacle, the big last boss for that title is going to be good for Braun and for the belt itself. You can have feuds with Dragunov, Kaiser when he gets back healthy, or Sheamus, and it'll be a really good run with the belt. This match is down to how WWE wants to take the briefcase holder. I don't think Drew is going to win it. Punk is for sure going to screw him over somehow, probably right as he's about to win it, I'm sure. But he doesn't need this. Last year I thought LA Knight should have won it, at least won this type of match. But now that he's in line for the US title, I don't think he needs the briefcase either. I'm guessing he will have, it's no surprise he will probably be going up against Logan in SummerSlam, so I'm assuming Logan Paul interferes somehow here. Not sure how many interferences we're going to have within this one match, since there is a lot going on with a lot of these wrestlers outside of this one match as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how many. I know there's going to be at least one person interfering. At least Punk is going to interfere, in my opinion, but it's hard to see. It's hard to tell how many other people are going to interfere. I do think Logan will. I'm not sure his schedule or anything like that, but these big marquee pay-per-views, he seems to always show up somehow. And I think LA Knight will end up winning the US title on SummerSlam and bring that title up to the level where at least the IC title is at the moment. I love Chad Gable, and I think he's doing his best work right now. He's one of my favorite people to watch wrestle, especially. But seeing that he has two other storylines going on, one with the Wyatt Six and the Alpha Academy, and one with a possible new Creed brother, like the new academy that he's gonna have eventually with the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile. Adding the Money in the Bank briefcase will just kind of muddy things out. So I don't think he is gonna win it, but I would love to see that. Carmelo Hayes and Andrade kind of makes sense to me too, to have them become more established and contenders for a world title. So I can see either one of them winning it here if they want to kind of go with a surprise pick. Carmelo might be too early, but if they want him to be in that kind of parallel force to when they clash with Braun Breaker, then I can see him have this big win here. Andrade, he just has felt, like something's missing. His return has felt flat for me, and so for him winning the Money in the Bank, it could do a lot to give him momentum, but I just don't really see that happening. Ultimately, I think what makes the most sense and what I see a lot of people talking about is just having Jey Uso win it. I don't think he really needs it either, but he is one that really feels like the right choice this year. And if Damian's win last year is anything to go by, this could be a step in that. This could be that step that really makes main event Jey Uso into the main event. He has done great work last year or so. He really feels like the biggest babyface on Raw, and that's saying something with Seth and Sammy on the same show. This time, it would be great to have him win. This is his time, and it would be great to have him win now before the Bloodline story really picks up again, for him at least, and he will have something for after that storyline concludes as well. I mean, with the Mr. Geet in the Bank, he's just a good marketing employee there as well. It just makes a lot of sense. I think he's for sure going to win this year. The women's Money in the Bank ladder match, to me, comes down to two options as well, depending on how Triple H wants to do this. First, similar to others I spoke about in the men's match, Io Sky does not need a win here. Her storyline progresses even better probably if she loses, especially if Damage Control tries her to help her but fails. Plus, she won last year, so she doesn't need to win again today. She doesn't need to win again this year. Naomi does have the big three storyline going on, impossible friends turn enemies with Bayley, but I think there's better options as well, although I think she'll do great in this match. I actually really like Zoe Starks, but I don't feel like the briefcase would be enough to really push her into that main event scene at the moment. There's still a lot of work to do with her. And to be honest, I would like to see her and Shayna focus on the tag team belt and really bring that tag team division up for the women. I can see any of the last three contestants winning, and this is why I'm a bit more excited for this match than the men's ladder match. My personal choice would be to see Chelsea Green win. I would love to see that. She would be fantastic with the briefcase, and you can see many different cases of her attempting but failing to win, attempting but failing to even cash in. And she would be a great person to be the first woman to cash in the Money in the Bank and fail to win the belt. She would go crazy, want to speak to the manager. My vote is for her to win, but she probably won't. Lyra Valkyria is having a pretty good push right now since coming to the main roster, and has really been around the main event picture this whole time. She can easily win on Saturday and really propel her forward. I think similar to Carmelo winning for the men, I can see it happening, but ultimately there's someone that I just feel like the correct choice here. I think Tiffy time is upon us for sure. Tiffany Stratton is a main event star in the making. Just as Jey Uso, it just makes sense for marketing, storyline, and star level. Having her go around with a pink briefcase is just great for marketing. Her story teaming up with Nia Jax is great. Having two possible contenders going up against Bayley is great as well. And she's for sure the next megastar for the women. And this would be a great first step towards that stardom. This is a strange one for me. I don't really know where to take this match. Last SmackDown was great to see how Paul Heyman took all those bumps at his age. The way that he took that Samoan spike, the headbutt, and then the powerbomb, I cannot believe what I saw. It was one of the best segments I've seen on SmackDown in a long time. And I do like the pairing of Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes. But I am just kind of done with Cody versus the Bloodline for her, at least now. Especially when Roman or The Rock are not involved. I feel like, no offense to Solo and the work he's been doing, because he's been great, I just don't think I don't think he's at the level of Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, especially. So I think it would be best for this to end here until SummerSlam, where ultimately I think that's where Roman Reigns will return, and I kind of have Cody Rhodes be parted from this. The Roman Reigns in his original Bloodline versus the new Bloodline 2.0 is a better story than having Cody be involved. And I've heard people throw in the fourth member being for the original Bloodline being Sami Zayn, which I think would be fantastic to kind of bring this all full circle. And having all of the original Bloodline people becoming baby faces as well, which I think would be fantastic. So ultimately here, it's hard to tell who's gonna win. I don't know if this is just gonna be the baby faces eventually winning or the Bloodline defeating. I think if the Bloodline wins, Kevin Owens is going to take the pin. So I don't think Cody's going to take a pin for sure. And I don't know how, but they're going to have to do some work to set up Randy versus Cody. I don't know if that's going to be their SummerSlam plans. It's just really confusing to see what to think of what Cody is going to be doing at SummerSlam. And I think it should just be apart from the Bloodline at this point. And the Bloodline storyline just feels a lot more interesting when it comes to family versus family instead of family versus other people. So I'd rather see them just finish it here and have Cody win. But if they're going to set up something with Randy Orton versus Cody, I think it'll be good for them to lose here so I can have that feud. I don't really know, but ultimately I think my prediction will be that the babyfaces win. This one is also hard to predict. I don't know who I'd rather see face Gunther at SummerSlam. I feel like Seth would be a better matchup, better story, better seeing if Gunther's going to win. It'd be better for him to beat Seth instead of Damian. But I don't think it'll do Damian Priest any favors having him lose here and then Seth losing to Gunther. So if anything, Damian should just hold the title until SummerSlam and have Gunther win at that point. I know that I would love to see Damian versus Finn Balor at SummerSlam, but that may be down the line a better story if they kind of unravel it a little bit longer once they do finally turn on Damian. So I ultimately I think Damian's probably going to win again with the help of Judgment Day, even though he won't want their help, and he's probably going to turn on the Judgment Day at that point, and then they'll probably lead to him losing at SummerSlam to Gunther. But we'll see how this goes. I don't think Seth really needs to be going for the world championship. I think it's hard to see him doing something else other than going to this for this title, but at the same time I feel like he should enter that next stage where he is in that level of superstar that doesn't need a title. He could always be in the contention for a title and always be in the picture, but he doesn't need to have that, and they should develop some stories outside of that to really push him to the next level. I think unless you're going to have another full long title reign, I don't seeing him win and then winning and lose his title won't be good for his standing either. So I think he should just kind of step away from this kind of picture for a little bit and see what other stories they can tell with him. But ultimately, these are my predictions for Money in the Bank. Hopefully, it's going to be a good show. I can't wait to see how they build SummerSlam moving from here. And it's always exciting to see who wins who wins the briefcase, and see what they do with it. Well, these have been my predictions for Money in the Bank 2024. Thank you, and stay safe.